Every scene should be able to answer 3 questions: who wants what from whom? What happens if they don't get it? Why now? When the 3 branches of government have failed to represent the citizenry and the mass of the media has failed to represent the citizenry, then the citizenry better represent the citizenry. It is the writer's job to make the play interesting. It is the actor's job to make the performance truthful. Like Lincoln said, if slavery is not wrong, nothing is wrong, and I feel the same way about the leftist dismantling of the West. If that's not wrong, then nothing is wrong. Worry is interest paid in advance on a debt that never comes due. Liberalism is a religion. Its tenets cannot be proved, its capacity for waste and destruction demonstrated. But it affords a feeling of spiritual rectitude at little or no cost. Luck, if there is such a thing, is either going to favor everyone equally or going to exhibit a preference for the prepared. Opportunity may knock, but it seldom nags. Having spent too many years in show business, the one thing I see that succeeds is persistence. It's the person who just aren't gonna go home. I decided early on that I wasn't going to go home. This is what I'll be doing until they put me in jail or in a coffin. You know, young actors say all the time, should I use my own life experience? And my response is, what choice do you have? People may or may not say what they mean, but they always say something designed to get what they want. Being a writer in Hollywood is like going to Hitler's eagle nest with a great idea for a bar mitzvah. A good writer gets better only by learning to cut, to remove the ornamental, the descriptive, the narrative, and especially the deeply felt and meaningful. What remains? The story remains. There's no such thing as talent, you just have to work hard enough. Encounter, doubt, shame, humiliation. It will finally be worth it. Acting is more about courage than anything else. To find beauty in the sad, hope in the midst of loss, and dignity in failure is great poetic art. The study of acting consists in the main of getting out of one's own way, and in learning to deal with uncertainty and being comfortable being uncomfortable. No one enjoys being equal. You get rich through luck. You get rich through crime. You get rich through fulfilling the needs of another. You can be as greedy as you like. If you can't do one of those 3 things, you aren't going to get any money. I look back on my liberal political beliefs with a sort of wonder, as another exercise in self-involvement, rewarding myself for some superiority I could not logically describe. Roll back the clock, and every possession of every great country started with a crime. It is not the constitutional prerogative of the government to determine needs. The liberals in my neighborhood wouldn't give away Brentwood to the Palestinians, but they want to give away Tel Aviv. The audience requires not information but drama. The audience requires not information but drama. Every reiteration of the idea that nothing matters debases the human spirit. President Obama seems to understand the Constitution as a set of suggestions. The true writer must write not the acceptable but the true. If, indeed, a firearm was more dangerous to its possessors than to potential aggressors, would it not make sense for the government to arm all criminals, and let them accidentally shoot themselves? Is this absurd? Yes, and yet the government, of course, is arming criminals. The audience will teach you how to act and the audience will teach you how to write and to direct. The classroom will teach you how to obey, and obedience in the theater will get you nowhere. It's a soothing falsity. Every fear hides a wish. I've always been fascinated by the picaresque. Listen, here's the thing about an English degree: if you sat somebody down and asked them to make a list of the writers they admire over the last 100 years, see how many of them got a degree in English. Don't write stage directions. If it is not apparent what the character is trying to accomplish by saying the line, tell us how the character said it, or whether or not she moved to the couch isn't going to aid the case. Old age and treachery will always beat youth and exuberance. All rhetorical questions are accusations. Train yourself for a profession that does not exist. The subject of drama is the lie. At the end of the drama, the truth, which has been overlooked, disregarded, scorned, and denied, prevails. And that is how we know the drama is done. Anyone ever lost in the wild knows that nature wants you dead. The greater the intellect, the more ease in its misdirection. The job of the artist is to say, wait a second, everything that we have thought is wrong. Let's re-examine it. I've always been more comfortable sinking while clutching a good theory than swimming with an ugly fact. A good film script should be able to do completely without dialogue. The First Amendment ensures not that speech will be fair, but that it will be free. It cannot be both. We must have a pie. Stress cannot exist in the presence of a pie. Art is an expression of joy and awe. It is not an attempt to share one's virtues and accomplishments with the audience, but an act of selfless spirit. All fears are one fear. Just the fear of death. And we accept it, then we are at peace. It's hard to write a good play because it's hard to structure a plot. If you can think of it off the top of your head, so can the audience. They have a desire to put on plays and to fulfill the traditional role of a theater in a community, to be the place where people go to hear the truth.